what kind of AI actually makes sense for India and not what Silicon Valley is building?
We have a vision of Vikshit Bharat by 2047. So it's a question of horizon.
Yeah.
If you ask me 2047 kind of horizon, we need everything. Instead of GPUs, my present CPU or the PCs can help me in building. I'll be able to solve a little difficult problem, right?
So in the early 1990s, before the world knew about AI, so you're already working on computer vision, neural networks, and machine intelligence for your research. Did you already sense that this would change the world?
I was born in 1962, but if you go back in history, 1950s Alan Turing's paper is How Machines Think. But if you go back in history, you will find that there has been...
Can decentralized AI democratize intelligence in India? Most hospitals and factories can't afford cloud-dependent AI forever. If local affordable AI matures, could this be India's biggest opportunity? Everyone assumed AI needs massive, expensive infrastructure, but smaller, efficient models are now running seamlessly on hardware. Did the industry underestimate this? There are very few people who understand technology inside out. From the research lab, to building products, to now building something meaningful of their own. Today, we have one of them with us. Dr. Aloknath, it's truly wonderful to have you here with us today.
It's my pleasure too, and thanks for the invite, Priyam.
Thank you. So Dr. Day, tell me, you went from being a top student to IIT Kharagpur, then ISA, McGill, then working with global companies like ST Ericsson, Samsung, to now calling yourself a missionpreneur. Was there a bigger purpose behind all of this, or did it find you along the way?
No, obviously it's a long journey, so I won't say that we set everything from beginning. It has evolved. The mission has evolved. I have started calling myself missionpreneur from 2019 with a specific thought that I will unfold. But yes, you talked about good student being in the schools, colleges. I studied in Ramakrishna Mission, the board rank. I mean, obviously it sets a bar, and you know that you have to do better in these subjects and you are good in this. And with that thought process, we went to IIT, ISC, McGill, for my BTech, MTech, and PhD. Now, in each time, the part of the mission that you talked about is, okay, I am an engineer, and we are doing this electronics and communications. But in bachelor time, I focused more on how can I add control systems into the process.
All right.
When I went into master's, I thought that's good, but computing and networking was unfolding more and more. So can I combine communication with computing part of it?
Yes, definitely.
And then in PhD time, I said signal processing with communication. So this is how I think there is a goal, but you build on the side and you broaden, but you also deepen. Over time, in the corporate world, we applied the same thing and build many products, right? It's a long journey from the early days to 36 years that I spent in corporate. Right. And the mission that I have is more about how do you grow R&D in India, but R&D also servicing as a business engine, right? It's a business growth engine. Right. So in an entrepreneurial way, can you fulfill that mission? And that's where I coined the term missionpreneur.
Wonderful, Dr. Day. So in the early 1990s, before the world knew about AI, like the world didn't even know about AI at that time. So you're already working on computer vision, neural networks, and machine intelligence for your research. Did it feel niche back then? Did you already sense that this would change the world forever?
No, again, I would not claim that I knew that it will change the world. And to be very fair, I was born in 1962, but if you go back in history, 1950s Alan Turing's paper is how machines think, right? And then mid-50s, I believe the AI term got coined in one summer workshop.
Okay.
So by the time I was in college, I think a bit of work has happened in multiple places, but they have been discrete. Even they did not know how this will be unfolding. But if you go back in history, you will find that there has been a lot of AI summer and AI winter. It looked like AI will come, and then it dipped down.
All right.
That's the winter. Now, going back to my work, when I was doing in IIT Kharagpur my BTech project, it was on computer vision, as you said,
Yes.
image texture analysis. How do you find, the sandy zone versus a marshy land versus a water body from satellite image? Can you analyze statistically and texture-wise? Now, that was a first step. If you look into AI today, computer vision plays a very big role, right? The vision intelligence. When we went into masters, that was a time, the computing, and there was Prolog and Lisp, those kind of language, and I built an expert system for communication protocol validation.
Okay.
But expert system, we never used to call AI, but we used to call like you have a database that you enrich, and you can do instead of normal if then else, you will leverage those data and build that. In IIT Kharagpur, we didn't have even a machines. It was a PDP-11, and we used to have this punched card, and we used to get 2 hours in a week that we'll have to work in the night.
All right.
From there, in master's time itself, I see a big shift that I can possess a computing power and play with that. And PhD, obviously, we had in Canada, being there, McGill, a lot of access to the computing part. So that got eased out. And my PhD thesis that got Alexander Graham Bell Prize in Canada, which was more about how does in the brain neural processing happens, the information theoretic way, and can we leverage when we talk about one speech coder versus the other speech coder, instead of measuring them in signal to noise ratio or some frequency domain, can you measure in a perceptual domain? Because at the end, the neural firing happens. And so those are some of the work. So in summary, I would say that we started working on it, and many people have worked, but it was not called so much as AI.
Yes.
And we saw, but we didn't see fully, and it's coming in a big way, right?
Definitely. I think this journey, like where it started to where it is now, it has been truly like magical and wonderful, right? Because I've seen it from the beginning, right?
Yes. I mean, enjoying thoroughly.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. So across all of it, radar systems, mobile devices, IoT, factories, hospitals, what has always fascinated you the most? Not the technology itself, but the human problem behind it. What kind of problem like truly gets you up in the morning or got you up in the morning back then?
No, I think after finishing, we talked about the studies part, but yes, won the corporate world, and first job was Bharat Electronics, and we built radar system by name Indra 1, and recently they built also Indra 2 for Air Force. I searched it, and it was very surprising for me to see some of those Indra 1 radar and more of Indra 2 radar are still serving the border security. So I would say that business is for solving a problem and making impact, obviously making revenue, but these are also part of it. So my first work was more for B2G, what we call now, like government. So radar systems is for security. Whereas when I worked in Nortel in Canada, Bell Northern Research, and also Hughes here in India, Hughes Software Systems, this was more like B2B, enterprise domain. We were working in wireless communication, but building the network systems that will go to the operators. So whether it is cellular operators or Hughes was doing satellite operators, but these were for B2B, enterprise kinds of solutions. And then more recently, the last two that I did on ST Ericsson and Samsung, these were a bit more on the consumer side of it, because in ST Ericsson, we built mobile platforms which can then go to the mobiles. We worked for Sony Ericsson, Nokia, Samsung, all of them were customers, and we built those chipsets and solutions. Samsung has been quite big in terms of AI, IoT, wireless communication, multimedia. So it is a quite fascinating journey, and I must say that whether it is government solutions, you're solving a problem for country or for operators, but it is at the end going to be giving a service to the consumers, B2B, B2C, or directly to the consumers where mobile features you built, then how do you do that? And then obviously there are journeys more from their AI and IoT. So that's the human side of it, that you are serving an end customer and you delight them, you solve their problems, you meet their expectations, but do much more than that.
Definitely.
But I must say one thing more. While building it, you also work with teams of people, right?
Yes.
So I would value that, and I've always valued that. You know, the team that you build, the communications, the teamwork, the night we spend together, the bug that we fix together, that has built a camaraderie of people.
Yeah.
And currently I've been doing some CTO Crest program for the tech leaders from 10 to 25 years. And a good number of people, like 230 plus people from 70 companies have joined. And many of them that I worked earlier have been joining in, and in one form or the other. So I wanted to say that the human side that you're talking, one is to serve the customer, but the other is also to work with people.
Right.
And that memory, that connection
Definitely.
is absolutely fabulous to me.
That's something so beautiful you said. Even I believe that, like the journey, it makes everything so beautiful rather than the destination itself. Yeah, beautiful, amazing. So you have a framework, Dr. Day, and it's very interesting, and I also want to know that. BITE, business, innovation, technology, and then engineering. And most of the engineers, they just flip it. They build something smart, and then they wonder like why nobody is buying it or not everyone is interested. So tell us about that. Like, it's very interesting.
Yes, so I think I found that many things that are failing, many efforts that people are taking, many startups that they do. I mean, early days there was not startups, but let's say initiatives that people were taking.
Yes.
And exactly you cannot preach, but you can do the right way.
Yeah.
But I must say also, when you look into today's entrepreneurs and startups, they just don't fail because of only this reason. They would fail at times. The team strength is not right. The founders' equations is not right over time, or you don't have funding, or you don't have other kinds of cash flow problems. So there are multiple reasons why initiatives get failed. But one of the major point is this reverse of the bite. Because people start haphazardly. They don't think about customers, or they start with the technology, or they do some innovation, and then they try to do. So it's looking like you have solved something, which is half, and looking for a problem, where can I fit?
Yeah.
And that, I think, has its own problem. I mean, we all understand that. This is where I said that BITE, very simple. Why? Because you should know your customers. Right? What business you are in, what is the scope of it, who are there, who is your competitor, is it a stagnant business in which you are trying to fight, is it a market share that you are trying to grow, or is it you are introducing a new problem statement, right? I mean, new market that you are penetrating. So that plays a big role, first of all, right? So therefore business, and you can learn directly, or you can learn from your sales marketing team. I'm not saying always being an engineer, you'll get a chance to get to the end customers, however it is, but your mindset should be, do I learn? Do I know what am I solving? That's number one. Then the next question is the innovation. We will do, to build a product, you do 100 things. 90 things would be routine, right? Others are also doing. Question is, what is your right to win in that market? Whatever you're trying to achieve, your right to win comes from a little bit of, obviously, executions, but also if you have some elements of innovation.
Yes.
And this I practiced myself, and also in the Samsung and Ericsson's, we built that culture. Obviously, globally it is there, but locally, when you work with your team, you bring and imbibe that culture so that you are innovative on the way. And you do at least 10 things that are little bit breakthroughs. Some are bigger, some are smaller, but you inject those. Can be in the product, can be in the process, can be in your business model, but something that you are doing. Then comes the technology, because what is the basic technology? Because you are trying to solve this problem. You might be innovative, but you have used a stack that is very older. That doesn't happen. And when I say technology, I don't mean only the AI and digital and software. That's the stack. That's the way to communicate, hardware. But also the domain itself. Healthcare has its own technology. Definitely. Biopharmaceuticals has it. Construction has it. Yes. So therefore, the domain is also a technology plus the digital part, two together. And finally is the engineering and the executions, because you can build 5G systems, but the last mile of cell tower deployment, there is a human side of it. You can't put a cell tower, huge power radiating in a residential area. But you still have to solve this problem. Unless you do that, you don't have the coverage. People love to have the coverage, but they don't want next to your home in a very radiating kind of towers.
Yes.
So that's where the engineering comes. How do I do full coverage, radiate less, my optimal cost? Can I upgrade to the next generation technology when it comes? That's the engineering aspect of it. So business, innovation, technology, engineering. I won't say you can just do like this. You might have to a little bit iterate, go this way, come back this way. But once you do that, you have a solid system.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of things that goes in the way rather than just building the product to make it a successful. Right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely. So Dr. Dey, you have spent years trying to get connected systems to talk to each other. Open standards, interoperability. Decades later, it's still not somewhere fully solved. Where do you think the problem is?
I think we solve something, new things come.
Yes.
So that's one reason of why it is not solved fully. But if you look into wireless system, where I have done quite a good amount of work, first generation was analog, so that I didn't contribute. But from 2G to 6G, I wrote a book also on the 6G in 2021. Okay. And so this journey we have been following, building systems, either on the network or on the mobile. Now, what happens is, first of all, even if you have solved for 2G, when the 3G system comes, the interoperability, you have to do it again. Right. Because you are introducing new features, new services. That's what is progress, right? So once you do that, you'll have to again see it. What is interoperability? It's basically you have a mobile, you're talking to an base stations. Base station needs to talk to another base station. Yes. That has to talk to the switch. Now, all of these have to speak the same language. Yeah. We are speaking English now, so they have to speak the same language. There is a specifications the standard body brings. That's open. People can adopt. 3GPP is doing that championing so that they can talk to each other. Right. Some problem comes because of interpretations. People have not got the specification right and they have not implemented right. That's where we have many plug fest, and so that you can thrash out those problems and you can make the system interoperable. Number one. Yeah. Number two, new systems. So you'll have to redo. 6G standards are evolving. There will be newer challenge you'll do. Other interesting thing, because you also mentioned about IoT, yes, right? Internet of Things. Now, so many different devices, smaller devices, and sometimes the power is important. You want low power. Sometimes you say low throughput is fine. I don't need huge data. Like a Bluetooth, let's say, your energy meter at home. You don't send too much data. Sometimes you want a wide coverage. Sometimes you want a great throughput, right? So it's a lot of factors. So you cannot build one technology and cover everything. Therefore, there is a need of multiple protocols, and they have to talk to themselves, but they have to also talk to others. And this evolution is continuing. And multimedia format, right? Audio, video, there are so many formats. Some are good for studio, some are good for smaller applications in mobile. So how do you operate in these different formats, different requirements, different evolutions? So I think we are solving a lot of problem, but the interoperability issues will still continue, I think.
Okay. So, Dr. Day, the world moved from connectivity to cognition. So, are today's connected system truly becoming intelligent? Or are we just automating things without actually understanding them?
No, you cannot work without understanding anything. So I think it will be very difficult. Even if it works for a while, it will not work. So I think we have to have the understanding for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, your point of cognitions, I mean, why did we connect many systems, right? I mean, each isolated systems can have also its intelligence. Smartphone has it, and it can serve that way. The purpose, very purpose in Samsung, I was responsible for as a corporate VP for AIoT platform and the data, and we connected 100 million plus devices globally, and by now I'm sure 200 plus devices have been connected. One of the reason is there is things that you want to do. If something happens here, there is a correlation there.
Yes.
Or maybe you have certain data there, when you fuse with it, you can do something better. Just as a simple thing, for example, we are building robots at home, which is doing its purpose functionally. But if I put a sensor there additionally, and by chance if you have left or you're in the garden, and let's say your kitchen oven is on, this can sense on your behalf. So that's a cognition. Because they are connected, and there is a sensing element, you are able to get that alert. Now, we can stretch from home. Let's say I have left home, and my worry is my geyser still on?
That's a worry for a lot of people nowadays.
Right? Yeah. Is my geyser on?
Yes.
Is my burner on?
Yeah.
So then, if there is Android Auto that is there, and that's also Android, and we have at home, and if we connect, I don't need to come back.
Correct.
After 20 kilometers just with that worry, or I don't have to live with that worry.
Definitely.
Right? So therefore, these connections, these cognition requires as a prerequisite these connections, but then you bring that, right? So you can take many such examples of it, which is in our daily life. It's absolutely helping to bring it. I just gave some simple examples that everybody understands.
Yes.
But in bigger systems, very remotely elderly care. People are in US. They are implementing devices at home in India and can monitor. At least they are there. They can call then the neighbors.
Yes.
So it's absolutely remarkable what we can do as connected. Obviously, there are elements of security and other things. But that's, as engineers, our job is to build those systems properly, right? But cognitions can grow. And now with Gen AI and next level of AI, I think there is no limit what we can do.
It's remarkable, So now I want to ask you something very interesting. The internet was built to be open and distributed. But AI today is becoming the opposite. Maybe controlled by a few big companies. What do you think about that?
I think it's not controlled. What's the alternative? If nobody comes, then they do what you do. I think as we grow older, we also start to see things a little differently, I must say. So if I'm a company and I have built a great technology like OpenAI has done, and people are doing AI, but suddenly this comes up, two things happen. First of all, I have built with a premise that this is right, this is what is going to build. So I will continue in that. I'm not going to change just like that. Second, it's my business, my knowledge, my things, and I have to do. So I'll continue to do, I will percolate into things. And at the end, customers are your judge, right?
Yes.
If they are adopting, why would I not take the advantage? So I just want to be fair to the people who are putting money and time and effort and technology they're building
Yes.
for benefit of others. Now, having said that, then the question comes, what are rest of us doing?
Yeah.
We can't say that, oh, they are monopolizing. Do you have an alternate solution?
Absolutely.
When the DeepSeek moment came, we saw that,
Yes.
right? I don't need that much computing power, but I don't need billions of that level of parameters. I can
Yes.
do with lesser parameters. Not just in outside, but even in India now, in that AI Impact Summit, we have seen Sarvam coming, Gani.ai. They have been putting effort.
Yes.
I know, by the way, Gani.ai, when I started Samsung India Ventures investments, they are the first that we invested in.
Oh,
And this is 8-10 years
interesting.
back I'm talking. So we had that confidence that this will grow. I mean,
Yeah.
just to give a proof that I'm not talking now, we have
Yes.
invested in them
Yes.
as a company. So these companies are coming up. I would say that others have to come up.
Yes.
There is a need for bigger systems. There is a need for medium level systems, call it MLM, SLM, small level systems, and localized in India, in other countries. And we should just take those solutions and keep building. Not all problems would require that heavy AI.
Yes.
But currently, since we didn't have that focus with edge devices, edge AI coming beyond cloud, and device AI, on-device AI, I'm sure there will be tons of solutions that will be coming. Also, many people are not trained. They didn't know what it is.
Yes.
But more and people are getting trained. They understand what that problem is. So there will be a huge number of problems,
Yes.
but we can't envy the others.
Yes.
You have to build for your solutions
Correct.
and take the space.
Absolutely. You have to understand the issue and then start working towards it.
Yes, right.
Definitely. Amazing. So it's connected to the previous question that we talked about. Everyone assumed AI needs massive, expensive infrastructure. But smaller, efficient models are now running seamlessly on hardwares.
Yes.
So did the industry underestimate this? Or what do you think?
Yeah. No, I think it didn't, again, underestimate. You have to start somewhere. The GPUs were there. We were using the GPUs for gaming,
Yeah.
right? And there was a community, the CUDA community, that grew, the researchers and others. And since the AI problems were quite similar in nature, so it was an automatic shift from there to go, and NVIDIA has done wonderful
Yes.
in solving that. But yes, as you said, and I already highlighted in my previous comment, that you don't need always that bigger systems.
Yes.
CPUs are solving problem, right? We've been doing that. It's a great smart manager.
Yes.
That's how we have seen sequential processing. Why this thing, the GPU is there? Because you can parallelize, you have many cores. It's like an array of workers parallelly working.
Yes.
That's the basis of it, right? But I see, again, Ziroh Labs is building these solutions and optimizing from GPU that if you are running in those processors, can I not do it? Because there are some foundations. Not all problems require probably so many cores. There are not enough parallelism in there. And then there are mathematical equations that you can leverage to be able to run at least divided by 2, divided by 3, divided by 5, up to a size of models. What I understand is 20, 30 billion parameters model you could run in CPUs. So I think this is marvelous.
Yes.
And that's a one direction, but somebody had to take that initiative. And I'm thankful that Ziroh Labs is taking that. But similarly, there are other optimizations you've seen in DeepSeek time.
Yes.
Some problems are not that large enough. Even you can run it. It's not even GPU, so you can do that. AI is also initially data synthesizing and giving a Gen AI style of question answers.
Yeah.
To reasoning is coming, inferencing is coming. Now they may require different models.
Yes.
So some things that were there earlier, this inferencing, you have other processors coming. And then again, people had to target, and there are ASICs that are coming up in the market who do it well. So it's a healthy competition. It's a fun. It's not about, okay, who has taken the space for now. AI journey is going to continue. If we start to play well, catch up, I think we will change the whole paradigm of AI, and there would be room for GPU, NPU, CPU, bigger problem, smaller problem, application problem, foundational problem. And that's how I see it.
Yes, definitely. And I think we are yet to see massive transformation in the modern AI in the future. Global AI assumes big budget, fast internet, and unlimited cloud access. But I think India is very different. What kind of AI actually makes sense for India? And not what Silicon Valley is building, but what actually India needs.
I think India is progressing. We have a vision of Vikshit Bharat by 2047. So it's a question of horizon.
Yes.
If you ask me 2047 kind of horizon, we need everything, right? We need to be excelling, and we have all kinds of people. We have very premier institute, very smart entrepreneurs who could build it. There are corporates that are investing. So I would encourage everybody to address all problems, from bigger foundational to medium-sized foundational to application problems. It's not one versus the other. Probably what we could do is you could prioritize what is currently you are going to do in short term, and then medium term and the long term. And you talked about India, and you talked about infinite resource that probably some of these developed countries have. As a technologist, I'm very fascinated by this part of it.
Yes.
Because we like to build a paradigm. And to me, this paradigm is, on one hand, infinite resource, and India is somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
But if you go to Africa and some Asian countries, they'll be even less fortunate,
absolutely.
right? They will have even lesser. So it's a continuum that in which you will work, and each country can decide what's relevant for them now, later.
Yeah.
So that's the paradigm. And in India context, I would say demand is high. For example, in the educations, people are learning. And again, going back to the previous point, if instead of GPUs, my present CPU or the PCs can help me in building, I'll be able to solve a little difficult problem, right?
Yes.
So that's nice from education. If you go to farmers community also, they will ask tons of things. So when you give them less resource, that doesn't mean their demand is less. I have seen many a times those who cannot afford much, they are demanding more. That means, because that's their problem statement. These are decoupled. What I can afford is different than what I have problems. So these are opportunities. And in fact, I've been thinking on this. I think the government is doing a lot of subsidy and other things.
Yeah.
Maybe you should think of a token for education and these, that can I do token subsidy, right?
Yeah.
Instead of cash, so that people are not laid back. They are building on their future. They are helping countries to grow to the next step. And I'm subsidizing today for your education and these, but more to grow in this direction. That's a thought that I have. And languages, multiple languages, problems of different areas. So, I mean, full of problems, a lot of strong peoples that are there. We just have to define, invest whatever we have, and keep building on it, and not get frustrated and not get limited, and just embrace the AI to the full extent, I would say.
Definitely. That's something so wonderful you said. Just because the resources are limited, that doesn't mean the demand is less. And also, I think that applies to a lot of issues in our country as well. So now we all know about the digital divide. So are we now heading into a world where the access to intelligence are different among industries, among people, among countries? What do you think?
So your point is more about, let's say, digital divide, and now you have an AI divide in some sense, right? I think that's what you're alluding to. Again, as we grow old, we become little philosophical. I would say that divide has always been there in the society. Whether it was a caste that divided us or it is a finance that divided us, there would be always a haves and have-nots. As soon as there is something that is important for society, to run finance, to run your societal rituals, you define a line, and there is people above, there is people below. So education also, many people get, many do not get. Health, some have access, some do not have. So it's not one divide. We have multiple divides.
Yes.
Now the beauty is that they shouldn't lie on the same place, because if this divide is again falling on the next, then always these have-nots are have-nots in a deep way versus the haves.
Yes.
Right? The nature's beauty is that they fall under different cuts.
Right.
And that brings the opportunity for a deprived people by the previous divide to go above the line in this new divide. I hope you got the point that you were divided and you were below that line by another parameter. And now that you got this new opportunity, this is an opportunity to go up. By the previous marker, I would never have been able to go up.
Yes.
If I do not have money, I do not have money. I got an education, therefore I can now get money. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is that I'm assuming that these would be things and people should leverage. Now in this journey, if somebody doesn't embrace AI, digital part of it, cyber systems, then they will be deprived. Even if they had lots of money, they would be illiterate in this new domain. And that will cause their future success to be not so great. So I think it's a problem, but it's also an opportunity.
Absolutely. It's about how one is aware of themselves, like to adapt to
and to educate and to get trained and to embrace and to build upon it.
Definitely. Yes. Amazing. So now I'm coming to your company, TechCrafter. So you're focused on data sovereignty. AI that stays on your premises, compliant with India's data laws, especially for healthcare and manufacturing. So how critical is that becoming?
Now, data has become very, very important for last, I would say, 7-10 years. You know, we have seen, we have built systems even in Samsung time. Prior to that, I think people are not so cognizant about it. Even GDPR that is there and many other global policies have been there for quite some time now. We have followed them even while building systems. So it has been there. The importance that are growing is the amount of data, because digitalization, AI is creating more data. There is things that you can build now. Systems are becoming more interconnected. Therefore, not just your data, some other data, and how do they influence here. As the importance grows, I think more and more tools are needed. But since it is becoming important, there would be always a set of people who would either, encash upon it, not use it right, deprive people, so all kinds of things. And that's where the protections laws and the DPDP Act that will be in force in India, I think next year in fuller sense, but many of us have started following it. You talked about TechCrafter that we have built. We are working on two important verticals. One is on health side, health and healthcare. Other is manufacturing. Now, manufacturing is little lesser, in terms of how much leakage it can have, because by nature, it's a factory intelligence, right? So it stays there and you have localized. You may not use lots of LLM. Sometimes you might like to know in this business who are the theirs, what is the supply chain, but there is a lot of intelligence with your own data, right? Whether your warehouse is empty, just in time. So the factory intelligence. And then even if you have 5 factories in country, you can connect them. There's private 5G network that has come. So you can protect and have a secure systems. But you will still go out. You will need to interact with other systems. Therefore, how can you leverage? So there, we leverage the data intelligence more than concerns for data privacy in a big way.
Yeah.
It is there. Whereas in health, and particularly if you are talking about consumers' data, this is very, very vital. We want to anonymize fully. We want to give a recommendations, but this is my data. How do I keep my data? How do I carry my data? How do I show it to doctors, give a right to hospitals? But it's not their data. It's my data is my data.
Yeah.
That's what we are trying to build. Can we have a twin and a system for my own health data and take it and use it in my way? And I will give a right to doctors, to others, whenever it's required. I need a service, I will share with them, I get the service, and that's it. Statistically, people can use for research and other things, but not unanonymized, right? So that part of it is very, very vital. So I think it's very important, and that builds trust in the system, and people interact nicely between them. They value the data rather than somehow managing it. And each entities will become a kind of data fiduciary in hospitals or healthcares or anybody who is holding those data and doing. So therefore, there is a responsibility that would come with it.
Absolutely. It's about how efficiently a company is running with the technologies also.
Right.
Absolutely. So Dr. Day, you talk a lot about cyber physical systems, factories, hospitals, infrastructures, places where AI actually interacts with the real physical world. You believe this space matters even more than the consumer AI. Why is that so?
I mean, consumer AI is important and people are using it, but I should say that why it's important is, see, we live in a physical world.
Yeah.
The digital world has come to assist this physical world. I mean, we still need food to eat.
Yeah.
We have to sleep. We have to move by car. We need our healthcare, hospitals, educations, learning places. So I think these are physical.
Yes.
There is a time from this physical world we started going into the digital world because there is a lot of fascinations or fascinating things that we could build. You can operate this data as we have been talking from connected system to cognition. You can't just do in the physical world.
Yeah.
Therefore, the digital world has given us a pretty big leeway to connect these and leverage the cognitions. So it is very valuable.
Yeah.
But then we have spent time in building it, and we are still thinking on metaverse and other kinds of things.
Yes.
But that's still digital world. Now it is time, why I think it's important, that how whatever we have built there or continue to build, how is it helping us in our physical world to live?
Yeah.
How is it helping in climate monitoring? How is it helping in even making weather better? How is it helping in my education? Hospital, am I going to get a better care? Can I get diagnosed much before? Is there a predictive intelligence that is there? So I'm trying to take the benefit, but it comes to my body.
Yes.
This is why the cyber and physical systems together is very, very important. They have been there. We focused on building the digital. Now it's time to fuse. And I have kind of built this tech crafter. I call it .cps. There's been a lot of fascinations to put .ai. But I think .cps intentionally why we put is to say that we are emphasizing, we do cloud AI, but we also care about edge AI and on-device AI.
Okay.
So it's not to exclude, but fuse it.
Together.
And I would encourage a lot of people to build career in this side and learn this domain of real estate, constructions, logistics, health, all of this, and try to bring what you have learned in your computer science courses and fuse it.
Yes. Amazing, Dr. Day. Thank you. So coming to AI again, can decentralized AI democratize intelligence in India? Most hospitals and factories can't afford cloud-dependent AI forever. If local affordable AI matures, Could this be India's biggest opportunity?
Yeah, I think definitely it will mature. Okay, I don't think there is a doubt of should we do other kind of AI and things. And those who build the other systems, they are also not saying that this is not important.
Yeah.
So it's not about anybody saying. It's just that we started from there, and we have been having on-device AI intelligence also, but probably they were doing a little bit of, I gave examples of if this, then that. That kind of
Yes.
intelligence have been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
But can you even do smaller models? Can you do a visual detections and things like that and apply into systems? We did, even in Samsung, there was a program called Galaxy Upcycling. So older phones, can I use it as crib monitors, or let's say building monitors, or some eye care? Can you check your eyes? So those kinds of on-device intelligence, I think we can start growing more and more. So far, it looks like it will be top-down, the LLM, and that's
Yeah.
it, and they are going to rule. Yes, they would. Their market caps would be higher. They'll be there. But how do they make profit? They're finding their path. They're building services. But this is an opportunity for service company to go into
Yes.
it. This is an opportunity for mid-layer companies. And I gave examples of Indian companies like Sarvam, Gyani, Bharatjan,
Yes.
many others are coming up, right? So we should see India has many service companies. How these service companies can work with the product companies and build a greater service and push up the foundational engine. If not LLM, even mid-level is perfectly fine. And at some point, we'll be doing even bigger systems. So I think it is not going to be centralized. It is going to be hierarchical. Some questions answer only LLM can give,
Yes.
right? Because it is global.
Definitely.
That knowledge base you don't have in local system. So it is hierarchical. If you need a contextual to my factory, you stay there.
Yeah.
You need a little bit more other factories, you go to the next level.
Yes.
You need global information, supply chain, weather monitoring. My goods are stuck in maritime. I think that's a different game, and you need all those news feeds to look into it. That comes from a higher level of intelligence. So I think it will be very structured intelligence. It will take some time.
Yes.
10 years down the road, it will look like we have designed that system.
Absolutely.
But it will evolve. And here is an opportunity for all entrepreneurs and others to tap onto whatever they are good at,
Definitely.
whatever resources they have.
Yeah. Absolutely. Opportunities are everywhere, and we just need that perspective and a mindset to grab that. So, this is for all the engineers out there, Dr. Dey, and the upcoming generation. So, if the next generation of Indian engineers takes one thing away from your journey, just one thing, what would you want it to be?
I would say continuous learning is very, very vital.
Yes.
And things are moving very fast. I don't think we have a mechanism to slow down these, because more and more people are into research, in implementation, in startups, so more things will be generated. Therefore, it is absolutely important that we continue to learn. And also the other associated point, you said one thing, so I'll stick to that. But while continually learning, you should get out from the comfort zone.
Yes.
So if you are fully you're solving a problem and you are continually doing that for 5 years, you are not learning. Therefore, a good strategy that I have taken is a 50-60% you should be in your comfort zone so that you continue to deliver, but bring in 30-40% at least a new element where you are not comfortable. So you have to be proactively working to get out from the full space of comfort
Yes.
to this thing. But don't go fully the other side. There will be bold souls, they can go. But I'm saying for most of the people, you said for students and young engineers, I would say get out from the comfort zone, keep building, keep learning, synthesize, build products, hands-on, and keep the nation in mind.
So beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Dey. Thank you so much for giving us time today and for your wonderful contribution in the modern technology. And you have given so much today to think about, and I want the audience and especially the engineers and the upcoming generation to do the same. Thank you for coming to this show. Thank you so much.
And I have really enjoyed interacting with you.
Thank you.
I hope the questions were good, and hopes there is some takeaways for everybody.
Yes.
And they would think through. I'd be happy to have even feedbacks and other kind of interactions at other points. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.